Hey guys, good morning everybody. Today is Thursday, April 18th. It is 6:22 right now. Market's gonna open in about 8 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. It's got a couple of things here to update. And we should be good to go. All right, looks good. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in Premium. Just realized I'm posting the wrong thing here. All right, links are sent out. All right, as people join in, I'm going to go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here on the daily chart. There, there, there. There, going down to the 8-hour time frame. Going down to the 4-hour time frame. Down to the 2-hour time frame. Down to the 1 hour. Down to the 30-minute. Down to the 15. Down to the 10-minute. Back down to the 1. And that looks like about it for the day. So, all right, guys, I marked up liquidity over here. Looks like about half of you guys are here so far. So the closest level of liquidity above is going to be at 38,147. And the closest level of liquidity down below is going to be at 38,025. Looking over here at our clean chart, I'm going to mark up 6:30. I'm going to mark up 8 o'clock. I'm going to go on the 4-hour time frame. Structure is pretty far out up here, but I'll just mark it up anyways, just for reference. That structure down here. Going down to the 1 hour. That structure right there. There. Structure right there. And structure right there. All right. So we don't really have much nearby structure, but we do have structure obviously on both ends. So let me just go up here real quick. This is going to be the 1 hour resistance level. And this is going to be the 4-hour support level. I don't know if price will get near it, but we got it marked up there just in case. So, all right, guys. Good morning, everybody. Looks like looks like about a little more than half of you guys are here. Today is Thursday, April 18th. It is 6:27 right now. Market's gonna open in about 3 minutes. Market liquidity already so far. Looking over here at the news for today, we had news at 5:30. That's about it. So we had news at 5:30 pre-market, which was this crazy candle right here. And I believe we have news at 7 o'clock and 7:30. So some high impact news at 7 and at 7:30 over here. 7 o'clock, 7:30. All right, looks good. Let's see who's here so far. Morning, Maria. Morning, Daniel. Morning, Sadie. Morning, Jacob. Nixon might be prepping for a momentum signal to the upside. We're going to let it stabilize after open. Yes, same here. Not going to enter any trades until market kind of stabilizes a little bit. But yeah, something we could be looking for if possible. So today I'm going to do something. Today I'm going to do something slightly different with my entries, guys. I'm going to try to enter directly on TradingView. So I haven't done this before. Well, I haven't done it with copies. I've done it with like single accounts, but I have my copier set up. I have my account here set up to yeah, 41. Okay, we're good. So I'm going to try to execute the trades directly on TradingView. I'm going to see if the execution is better, if it looks like more balanced. I feel like NinjaTrader is a little delayed sometimes, but I'm going to execute on here. And then I'm also going to be having my finger on my laptop to flatten all my positions in case I need to. So I'm going to try it out. A lot of people have told me to try it out, so give it a shot. Yeah, Sadie said he's been doing it since ever. Yeah, it's just a lot easier to do it that way. I can have the box on here. I can just click instead of having two different places to kind of click off, but we'll see. So, all right, guys, market is opening up in about 20 seconds. We'll see how market opens up over here. Again, we're going to let it kind of stabilize a bit before we take any actual entries, but we're about to kick it off right now. Market is opening up in about 10 seconds. We got market open in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Market is now open, guys. So here goes the opening candle. Of course, it's moving kind of crazy, which is what we expected. So let's go and do that here. Opening price marked up right there. 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 And of course, opening price right there. All right. So liquidity hasn't gotten hit yet, guys. Closest level of liquidity is going to be above over here at 38,147. Lower level here is going to be at 38,025. Yeah, Drew said we're about 50 points away from yesterday's opening price. Good to know. So closer to run that area, it's going to be like another area of manipulation, of course. We have the rejection right here, guys. So this is a possible rejection over here for the PRB, if anybody's looking to take the PRB. This right here is going to set up, if this buy signal closes, this is going to be setting up for a pivot scalp. The only problem with this here is that it's touching opening price. So like I said earlier, guys, we don't want to trade around red flags. So I'm not going to take any trades that are touching opening price. I'm going to hold off on that. So if you guys want to take it, we'll follow it. But I mean, the candles here are still moving kind of crazy. So I don't even know if it'll close. You can see how it's bouncing around pretty heavily over here. All right, let's see. So we got a pending buy signal here. I don't know if it'll close. The panels are like super blocky, as you guys can see. They're kind of bouncing back and forth pretty heavily. ATR is currently at 16, not super high, but it's not also super low. It's like where it's supposed to be. All right, so we got the candle there, did not close at the buy signal. We have it pending again here, but again, it is touching opening price, so it's not going to be one of the entries that I'm really going to be looking at. I'm going to wait for price to kind of push away. Possibly for a breakout V3 continuation, but I'm not going to take it here with a buy signal. So definitely not taking it for a pivot scalp. Just a little too choppy right here. Divergence is bullish. PRV is still setting up. It's not done yet. We need that space consolidation candle. I'll come back to the clean chart once we get some movement here, and then I can start marking up structure on there as well. Structure is kind of far from the 4 hour and 1 hour, so it's not likely to get touched anytime soon. All right, so that pending buy signal there comes and it disappears. It's probably going to close this time. So there goes the buy signal right there. Again, it was touching the opening price, so that's an area of manipulation. It's not going to be an entry that I'm looking to take here. But this here would be considered a pivot scalp. Looks like price came up and hit liquidity right there. Not sure if it already hit full TP, but yeah, it already hit. So it went straight to TP right there. Nick's asking if I would take it if it closes a breakout V3. Continuation, not looking like it, but I probably would have maybe taken it if it came up. If it was like a clean entry, possibly, but it's definitely not going to close. Not looking like it. So you can see how price kind of the opening price here acts as a magnet, right? This is why you don't want to trade at opening price or you don't want to trade when price is touching it because price is likely to pull right back, right? Pushes up, pull right back. So you want to wait for price to kind of push away from it. So it's tricky. That's why you don't want to trade around these areas. So like I said before, guys, and since majority of you guys here know, all the red flags are going to be these horizontal lines. The blue line which is the opening price, the purple line, which is the Asia high low, the pink lines, which are news price. I wouldn't mess with any of these, any entries that are touching these price points, because you guys can see how manipulation happens exactly at these price points, right? Price is currently at the sessions. I wouldn't be surprised if it rejects directly off it like it's doing right now. So it's rejecting directly off that purple line, which is the Asia high for today or from yesterday. And it's just an area where you don't want to be trading in. You can see right here where price kind of bounced around in between these two lines. This is the manipulation I'm talking about. These price points act as magnets, and you don't want to get caught on the wrong side of that push. So again, we're just going to wait. There's nothing here to take anyways. This right here looks like it could be the space candle for the PRB. So you guys have that space consolidation candle right there. If price climbs back up and rejects off the pivot and comes back up higher, that would be the PRB entry. So if you guys are looking to take the PRB, that right there is a setup. There's no breakout V3s here yet, but it could be setting up right here because you can see there's a double body rejection right there, double body and double wick. If this candle closes green, and then if it swings back up with a buy signal, this could be a possible breakout V3 entry. For anybody who's looking to take it, there's a breakout V3 entry setting up here for a buy, and also a PRB that's also setting up here for a buy. So if these go in the same direction, odds of this hitting are probably likely, right? But again, you would need this to push up, retrace, reject off the pivots, and climb up higher. That's going to be the PRB right there, basically a double confluence. All right, so it never pushed up. With that said, there's no zone there anymore. Breakout V3 is no longer going to be set up. So again, you got to wait for that setup to come back. If this here doesn't swing back up, then the PRB could be shifting to a sell, and you'll no longer be looking for buys here. So we'll confirm the trend here. Once we confirm the trend, we'll start looking for some entries in that direction. But the PRB here is not. Actually, you're right. So Daniel just mentioned, yeah, there was a double top here, or a double body. There's actually a breakout V3 that's running for a sell right here, guys. I'm not sure if anybody saw that. Daniel identified it for us right there. So the PRB is actually for a sell. I didn't realize there was a double body right here. There's a double body with a sell signal followed by a red candle. I really thought this was going to close green, but it ended up closing red. So this here is actually the breakout V3 for a sell. We have the double body rejection right there off the higher high. And the breakout V3 here is a full TP. Thanks, Daniel, for catching that. I didn't even notice that this up here was a, well, I was so set on this here closing green. It looked like a totally, a strong green candle, and it came down at the last couple of seconds. So it looks like Jeff over here caught it for 10 points. Kenneth caught it for 10 points as well. Nice work, guys. So the breakout V3 right there for a full TP came down for a sell. The PRB here never set up, so it's starting to set up here for a possible sell. If we get this bearish trend and the trend starts to shift to the downside, they'll start setting up for a sell here. So that's something to look out for. Typically, when the PRB and the BV3 go in the same direction, they usually both hit. So we'll see what happens there. Yeah, Nick said it didn't align with the trend, so he sat out. Andrea said he didn't take it because of the red flags. Yeah, I agree. Same with that as well. So price is currently rejecting off the 5:30 a.m. news price right here. You can see the pink line that I drew up. Again, this is why I don't trade at these news prices, because manipulation happens around these points. News price, sessions, opening price, etc. Any of these lines that go left to right, I don't trade around those areas. Those are considered red flags to me. So, all right, guys, looks like we're gonna wait for this trend to shift. Hasn't shifted yet. Right now, it's currently neutral. You can see the pivots right down the middle. But if it continues to drop further, we can get a shift to the downside. Looking over here at retail sentiment is currently 57% short. This indicates that 57% of retail traders are currently selling right now. It's not very strong, but typically you want to do the opposite and buy. So buys are they're still viable right now. And you can see price starting to shift back up to stop out all the sellers. But I mean, it just kind of depends on where price goes. You can see price is in a big range here now. So now that we have structure, I'm going to go to our clean chart. I'm going to mark up structure up here. And I'm going to mark up structure down here. So this is the current range for the day so far. We currently have the 1 minute resistance level up here, which is set at the higher high. We have a support level down here at this lower low. So we got that. We got the 1 minute support level right here, and this is the current range. So we'll see what happens here in the next few moments. We just gotta let it kind of breathe a little bit. There's no trend here, so there's no entries for us to take at the moment. But if price continues to climb up higher, we may have some possible entries here for a buy. So again, we just gotta sit tight, wait for this trend here to confirm. Once the trend confirms, we can start looking for entries in that direction. Currently have a buy signal right here. There's no trend, so there's no entry. So I was just talking to Nick earlier. We have high impact news over here at 7. I was hoping we get some entries before 7, but you guys can see how the market's currently moving. It's probably going to range for a bit until we get to news. It's high impact news at 7 o'clock. We've got existing home sales month over month and the existing home sales for March. So they're forecasted to be really bad, actually. So the existing home sales month over month are forecasted to be negative 2.2%. And the existing home sales for March are forecasted to drop a bit too. So it's forecasted to be bad news, but we'll see what happens. What will probably happen here is price might just go sideways for a bit until news happens, and then we might get some manipulation to the upside and correction back down. Personally, when news happens, I like it when there's manipulation. I prefer manipulation because when there's a correction back to the downside or a correction back to the upside, it's beneficial because you know where price is supposed to go, right? So I wouldn't mind if price kind of climbs up a bit and then eventually it corrects back down to where it's supposed to go. Because the news here is this is a big gap, right? Month over month from last month was 9.5%. They're forecasting it to be negative 2.2. That's a pretty big drop. So I'm pretty sure it's going to affect the market pretty heavily. I mean, depending on like how drastic it is, but that's a pretty drastic move. Positive 9 to negative 2, it's a big drop. But yeah, I'm not really expecting too much here. So we'll see. I mean, if we get something, I'm not gonna hide from it. If we get something here and the trend shifts and it looks like a good entry, I'll take it. That entry is probably gonna take, a matter of seconds for it to hit. So we still got some time though. We have 18 minutes until news. But if we don't see anything here, just expect market to kind of consolidate here for a bit up until we get close to news price at 7 o'clock. Other than that, there's no PRV because there's obviously no trend. You guys can see over here from the clean chart, price is pretty much just ranging. It's just consolidating within this middle area. Yeah, exactly. Sadie said it is what it is. It's really what it is, right? Yeah, no loss is good for him. Exactly. Yeah. So you just got to be patient, guys. You got to be patient, have discipline, trade with consistency. You should be fine. Like I'd rather have no trade than trade in a risky area and either get lucky or lose a trade. Like someone yesterday, let me see. I'm not gonna pull up our chat, but someone yesterday was like literally just arguing because they messaged me. They're not even in our group, but they see like they know me from like other groups and they've been DMing me and they blew their Top Step account yesterday and they were just complaining, right? Like making excuses for like every single thing. They were complaining about how NASDAQ was too volatile, how the drawdown screwed them and all this. And I was like, you're never going to get better unless you take responsibility for it, right? You were the problem. The drawdown didn't force you to trade. NASDAQ and Q did not force you to trade either. That's your fault. You shouldn't have traded. And also on top of that, the person didn't have a trading plan. Like the reason they lost was because they moved their stop loss further when they should have just taken the loss. So you guys got to keep that in mind. Like you got to take responsibility for all mistakes, whether it's your fault or not. You got to take responsibility for it. That's the only way you'll get better at trading. You understand where your mistakes are, you get better, you improve on those mistakes. Like I told that person to because they've gotten funded about like 6 times. Every time they get funded, they blow their account. And I asked them if they journal their trades or if they even take notes, and they're like, no. I'm like, that's why you're not getting better because you just keep making the same mistake. It's like revenge trading, over trading, blaming, like putting the blame on everything but yourself. That's like, it's never the market's fault. The market never forces you to trade. It's like it's your trade psychology, it's your greed, your emotions that force you to trade that way. So, just a heads up for you guys here, a lot of you new traders, you just got to take responsibility. And whenever you make mistakes, make sure to take note of it. You know, use my journal. I provide my journal to all of you guys. Like you guys have seen my journal here. I journal literally all my trades, all my losses. I have notes at my losses and stuff, so I know what I did wrong or if I did anything wrong, so that I get better at it. That's why we have such a high win rate because I just stay on top of it. So yeah, exactly. Jonathan said it's never the market's fault, it's you. Yeah, I mean, I take responsibility for everything, even like when I don't make the mistake and like we get spiked out of something. It's like the only way to get better. Hey, Alicia, welcome. All right, so there's nothing here, guys. You guys can see how price is kind of just lingering around this purple line here, which is the sessions. This is why I say not to trade around the sessions because you can see how price kind of pushes down. It break and retest, comes back down, fakes out, and then it keeps faking out in both directions. So this here is, basically why we avoid these red flags. So look where price is rejecting from. Let me zoom in a little bit. See how price over here rejected from this blue line, rejected from this pink line, and kind of lingered around this purple line right here. This is where manipulation happens. So like I'll never take a trade that's like touching any of these lines here because you guys can see how you can get faked out. You can take a sell down here, you get faked out, it swings right back up. You take another trade right here, a buy because you think price is pushing up and it rejects directly off the opening price. This all comes from experience. I've been marking up these lines for a couple of years now, and it's saved me from getting caught in a lot of bad trades. And it prevents me from developing bad habits from trading on those points. Because if you guys think about it, a lot of people do trade around these price points, right? A lot of people who trade at opening price, people who trade at news price. It's better to just avoid it than to take that gamble. And sometimes you'll get lucky, sometimes you won't. And most of the time, if you don't get lucky, it's just gonna be a bad habit. So let's see. Other than that, I mean, market's doing literally what we identified earlier. So, pretty much what I said earlier, market's probably going to go sideways until news. So the news is here at 7 o'clock. This is like literally what I said was going to happen, right? I said price is probably going to consolidate here for a bit in range. And that's literally what's happening. So as you guys can see at the market structure right here, this just means that nobody's trading right now. A lot of people are just sitting out. They're waiting for the high impact news to come out over here at 7, which we kind of expected. And we expected that because it's such a big drop, right? It's not like it's a 1% drop or a 2% drop. This is like a 10 to 11% drop for the consensus. So just I feel like a lot of people are on the same page. They're kind of just waiting because they're worried to get caught in the fake out. Then again, the data could just be flat. If the data is not even close to like what they forecasted, which I'm pretty sure it's gonna be pretty decent. It's not gonna be like a 1% move. I mean, the market could just not move at all. You can probably expect price to go sideways even further. And then, eventually it'll break out. But yeah, guys, like what I was saying earlier, if you guys are still not profitable, or you guys might be profitable. So like, there's like different baskets of people in this group, right? There's a basket of people who are profitable sometimes, but they're unprofitable majority of the time. And then there's a basket of people who are profitable, but once they get funded, they change their trading strategy and they kind of just blow their account, right? And then there's another basket of people who are actually profitable and they have a game plan and they just keep executing that game plan every day, which are just consistently profitable over time. So it's okay if you guys are in any of these baskets. The good thing about trading is that you can always get better. This isn't like something where you're born with a talent to trade, right? I mean, some people are. Some people are just like they have the ability to trade right off the bat. Like there's some people who join our group, they follow my directions and they're profitable right away. And there's some people who've been trading with me for, years and they're kind of in a limbo. But I think the main thing you guys can do is just like journal your trades and get better from your mistakes. Learn not to overtrade, learn not to revenge trade, and learn to set some sort of goal for you. Like for me personally, I trade like maybe one or two good trades. I look for one or two good trades a day. And then if I ever lose a trade, I'm usually done for the day. You guys know how I trade. I'm very conservative. I do the same routine every day. So that's kind of prevented me from making a lot of big mistakes. The only big mistake we made recently was when I kind of changed my trading style for a little bit with the BV3. That was like something that I should have never done, but it is what it is. Yeah, Daniel said I'm sometimes profitable, was doing really well with drew 24K last month and blew my accounts at the end of the month. Had to reset my mindset and started all over again with a stricter plan. Yeah, and that's key. The thing with trading is that it's all about trial and error. Like for me, I've been trading for like 10 years. So like the first couple of years, it was all trial and error. I never had a mentor, I never paid for a course. I was just watching YouTube videos and trying to figuring out things on my own. That's why it took me so long to get good at trading, but it kind of was beneficial because it forced me to learn like kind of everything on my own. So I'm able to troubleshoot and able to adapt with the market pretty quickly now, since I've kind of gone through all of the different market conditions, market structure, market strategies, etc. Let's see. Nick said breakout V3 continuation. I wouldn't take it because it's touching opening price. So it's still at the red flag, Nick. I would have taken it if it pushed farther up. Like if we had this buy signal and it was way up here and then it like continued pushing, then possibly. But this is too close. If it's close like this, I'm not going to mess with it. If you guys want to take it, I'll probably mark it up for you guys if it closes green. Not looking like it though. Yeah, not looking like it at all. So you guys can see how the manipulation's happening, right? So if I take all the indicators off the chart, let me just take everything off here. Let me show you guys. You guys can see where the manipulation's happening. See how this faked out? Price pushed up, faked out right there, and it pulled back down to the sessions right here. Same with this down here. Price pushed down a little bit, faked out right there, shot right back up. So price is pretty much going to sit right here in the middle until news happens. It's going to push up a little bit, maybe come right back down. It might push down a little bit, come right back up, right? So, I mean, this is nothing new. We already predicted this was going to happen. I basically said this was what's going to happen until the news event here. So, yeah, I mean, we're just going to wait. It's literally doing what we anticipated it to do. I don't like to predict the market. So for me personally, I don't predict the market, but we can kind of anticipate. So I'll never like kind of tell you, oh, this is going to happen, right? I'll tell you this might happen. Like we can anticipate it, but I'm not like, oh, this is for sure going to happen. Because whenever you say something like that, it typically does the opposite. And that's why I've learned not to predict the market. I just anticipate. I'm like, give me different scenarios. Like this can happen where price pushes up, comes back down. Or, this can happen as well where price pushes down and comes back up. I think that'll help with your guys' mental as well. If you guys are analyzing the chart, try not to predict. Try to anticipate what's going to happen next, because if you predict and then your prediction is wrong, you're going to feel like shit, right? You're not going to feel great because you're going to feel like your strategy is not working, and you're going to think that, your analysis just wasn't right. But in a lot of senses, it's partially right, but you didn't really think out the other scenarios. So I don't like to predict. I just like to anticipate. Like I anticipated this to go sideways and it went sideways. So I don't feel bad or good. I just kind of knew this was going to happen. Because you don't want your emotions to run high, especially when you're trading. When your emotions are too high and you think you're always right or you think you're always wrong, it's going to cause like you to revenge trade or take dumb trades that aren't even there. You guys got to remember, it's all about trade psychology. You can apply any strategy. Like you can apply my strategies, you can apply your own strategies, you can apply somebody else's strategies. As long as you stick to your trading plan and you don't go off track, odds of you being profitable are very likely. You're going to be profitable as long as you stick to the game plan. And as long as your strategy is profitable for like whatever you're applying. Like for us, I have so much data here. I have years and years of back of data, right? We have data from 2024 back until like 2018. So that's why I know the strategies we apply here work and they're profitable. You just have to follow them properly. And I think that's the biggest problem with a lot of people. It's just greed comes into play, and you just kind of lose control sometimes when you're trading off emotion. So the trend here is bullish, guys. The trend here is currently bullish. Let me see if a PRB actually came up because I haven't even been paying attention to it. So looking at this over here, we had a bullish trend, which is right here. We had the rejection off the pivot. So this is actually the PRB right here, guys. So I didn't even realize that the PRB is running, but this is the PRB right here. I just looked back at it. So we currently had the trend that confirmed right here. This first green candle was the first rejection off the pivot. We had the space consolidation candle right here, right here, right here, right here, right here, right here. And this green candle right here rejected off the pivot. So this right here is actually the PRB entry. So I don't know if anybody decided to take it. It's not really an area where I wanted to trade in because of the news that was coming up and also because of the range that price was currently in. But this technically was the PRB for anybody who was looking to take it. I don't know if anybody was following it. It was kind of choppy here because price kept coming around. But if you look pretty closely, you'll see it's pretty obvious right here. The red pivot crossed below right here. This green pivot was the first rejection. None of these candles right here touch the pivots with their wick. So these are all consolidation space candles. And then this green candle right here was the last one to touch the pivot. That's why it's set up for the PRB right there. So this entry right here was the PRB entry. So there's 2 entries today, or 3 entries actually, that have come up so far, and they all have hit full TP. So we have a PRB here that came up. This was a full TP on the PRB chart. We had the breakout V3 that came up earlier today as well. This is a full TP. And we also had the liquidity push that happened over here that also hit full TP on open. So other than that, that's pretty much it for right now. This is the pre-news manipulation that I was kind of expecting. So like I said earlier, the news here is supposed to be negative, right? It's supposed to be very negative. So last month was 9.5, the forecast seems to be negative 2.2. This is why price is pushing right here. So I think price is going to push up, and then when the news happens at 7, it's going to come tumbling right back down, right back into this range where it was earlier. That's kind of what I expect. What I'm anticipating doesn't necessarily mean it has to happen, but this is kind of what I'm expecting if the news comes out negative. which they're both forecasted to come out negative. So, go figure. We'll see what happens here in the next couple of moments. So we got 3 minutes till news. I highly recommend nobody take any trades right now, because the news manipulation right here is not where you want to be at. And you also don't want to predict that price is going to come down like this, because if price doesn't, you're going to be super pissed. And I wouldn't bet on news. Like, you guys know, I don't trade news at all, because the news is super unpredictable. The news could be positive, it could be negative, and then price will do the complete opposite. But we do have a bullish trend here, so that's sort of a plus for us. This here would have been a momentum divergence, it looks like, because we had the trend shift back up there. Let me see how far it traced down a little bit though. Candle's kind of big, but again, news right here. I don't think there were any other momentum divergence that came up here. Yeah, not so much. All right, we got 2 minutes till news. Price is probably gonna stay flat over here. It's probably gonna go sideways until news. And then when the news comes out, I wouldn't be surprised if it comes crashing right back down. We got some breaking news here from CNBC. Says that S&P 500 wavers as it tries to recover from a 4-day losing streak. Nothing really special there. They're gonna report on the news for sure. Well, I know that. Fundamentals are currently bullish right now. They're up about 200 points. All right, we got news coming up in a few, guys. 40 seconds till news. It's establishing a higher high right now, so this could be the ceiling point. Price can just come right back down. All right, let's see. News in about 20 seconds. We got 10 seconds till news. We got news in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We got news right here. Update for the news. News was negative 4.3. That's crazy, big drop. So it's actually worse. So they forecast to be negative 2.2, is actually negative 4.3. And existing home sales were 4.19 mil. But you can see how price hasn't, you want to be careful here, because the price hasn't reacted to it yet. It's going to react to it eventually, because the news here was pretty bad. It was a lot worse than they expected. So expect if price pushes up, that's like straight manipulation. And then if price comes down, that's like a correction to where it's supposed to go. But I would be very careful about taking any entries here, because it's very unusual for price not to move at all when the news is that bad. So it's coming down a little bit. I think we're going to have a late reaction to the news. So I would sit tight for a bit. Wait for like the bigger candles to come out, because they're going to react to the news eventually. I think what they're doing here is they're trying to lure in the retail traders. Nick said the same thing happened. There was like these big spikes right here, Nick. Like there's like a huge movement here from the news at 5:30. The news are right here at 5:30. You can see how these candles are way different from the prior ones, right? The prior ones here are moving normal, and then the 5:30 candle here was a huge wick on both sides. This one had a huge wick on the bottom. Yeah, I mean, but this is pre-market. So like pre-market, it's not going to move like that very much, but you're going to see like the difference in the candle movement. This is like actual live session. There's not much volatility pre-market, so you're not going to really see much unless it's like a big news event like a CPI, PPI, or like NFP. Those are like the 3 big ones for pre-market. The other pre-market news don't typically move like that. Well, what was the news from 5:30? Like it was medium impact news. It wasn't, or there was continuing jobless claims as well. These here don't really matter as much because we already had the jobless claims from NFP, right? These are just continuing jobless claims. So that's why they don't affect the market as much. On Friday of NFP 2 weeks ago, that's where the initial, like when it first came out, and these are just continuing. So that's why it doesn't really move as much. But the pre-market news that really moves is going to be CPI, PPI that happen monthly, and FOMC. Those are like the main ones that actually do, because the data is already out from those days, and these are just like continuations of that data. But for new home sales, typically this has it has an effect. Like if you remember this from last month, this actually like spiked price. There's like different monthly news events that have like bigger effect than others. But I guess because of the housing market isn't really like this usually goes hand in hand with interest rates, right? So the thing is from I think the last couple of weeks they released like interest rate news with the CPI, and that's kind of what like caused price to move heavily. And then for this month, not so much because the interest rate news is already out. And I think Powell spoke. I don't know when Powell speak on Monday or Tuesday. So Powell spoke on Monday and Tuesday. He already discussed inflation rates and a lot of this news after, and you can see price is reacting to it. It's just not a super spike that we were kind of expecting. And you can see right here this big candle. So this is what I was talking about. That's why I said to be careful if you guys are looking, because the news is going to have a late reaction to it, which is happening right here. The news happened over here at 7 o'clock, but we didn't really have that big candle until here at 7:03. So this is what I was kind of warning you guys about, because what happens with a lot of people is they try to hop in and they get caught up in trades and they end up getting wiped out. So I'm probably going to sit out for a little bit, maybe until like 7:05, maybe for a couple more minutes. And then, because you can see the market already reacted to it. Now we can look for the correction. So we already have the drop here. We know that this followed news because news happened at 7 o'clock. It was super negative. Price came down. So I'm okay with price now where it's currently at. Because at this point, we can get a double body, double wick rejection, and then we can get a correction back up if possible, but it doesn't necessarily need to happen. So there goes with the move there. Again, guys, I'm not a fundamentalist, so I know what I know about news from just trading. I don't know like much about like how it's supposed to affect things internally, but I just know that if the news is negative, price should come down, and that's exactly what's happening here. The cool thing is that I met a new friend. I met some guy at the gym. He knows that I trade for my cars and my license plates. So he's a futures trader as well, but he's a fundamental trader. So it's gonna be kind of beneficial for us because I can talk to him and ask him about what he expects the market to do long term for the week. And that'll be beneficial for us because we'll have some insider, not really insider information. He is a financial analyst for an institution, but I mean, I wouldn't consider it insider information. He's not going to have anything crazy. It's like the stuff that he's analyzing himself. But yeah, that's like one little thing. So we'll see. Exactly, Sadie said SPY. Right. We'll see how the YM is supposed to move for like the next couple of weeks or next couple of months. And then we'll only trade in that direction. All right, so we got price kind of pushing back up right here. This is a good sign because we do have a correction. So you had price come down and reject off the pivots down here. And then now it is pushing up into the bullish trend. So we don't have the divergence here that's confirmed yet. And we just have price kind of sitting over here for a little bit. So let me mark up new structure here. So we have the 1 minute resistance level, which is right here. We have a new resistance level, which is also up here, I believe. Let me go over here real quick. So we have another resistance level right there. So price is pushing up to the 1 hour resistance level. This is where price is currently at the middle. So we have a pending buy signal here, but again, it's close to the opening price, or not opening price, news price. So we're basically getting a correction off the news movement. So we had negative news here at 7 o'clock, price pushed down. And now it's pushing back up to correct back to where it was earlier, which is news price right there. So this is basically a price correction based off the news that happened earlier today or just a while ago. This could be a possible breakout V3 continuation or pivot scalp. I wouldn't take the pivot scalp if it was invalid, but if the next candle is green, then this could be a possible breakout V3 continuation to the upside. Doesn't look like we're going to get any NPS entries today. Just want to set up my window here just in case I need to take something. All right, I just got my window set up right there, just in case something comes up, because we're going to be looking for a buy here, of course. So we have another pending buy signal here, as you guys saw. The momentum divergence is currently bullish right now, so this could be a decent pivot scalp entry if it does come up. We just got to make sure it doesn't get close to opening price right there, like too close. And we'll see. Price is kind of blocky right here, as you guys can see. It's kind of just bouncing around. So if you guys are going to trade on TradingView, this is kind of how I would set it up. I'll just have my window here set up, and then if it sets up for us, then we could just enter as soon as it closes. This is my first time trading off of TradingView with my copier, so we'll see how it plays through. I need to give it a test, because if it runs smooth on here, I'll just take trades directly off TradingView. There's no entry there yet. See if we get that buy signal here. All right, so we have a pending buy signal here. Again, I don't want it to push up too high. Nicholas is asking, what is the website for consumer sentiment? I'll just post it in the group for you guys. It's on Daily FX. Yeah, no problem, Nicholas. There you go. All right, so this is a little too high, guys. I'm not taking it because it's right at the session, or no, it's right at the news price. It's just way too high. This would be a nice entry, though. I personally would have taken it if it wasn't at news price, because this looks like it could be a triple confluence, but I'm not going to risk it. And it's way too big, too. Candle's huge. So I'm not taking this here. This could set up for a breakout V3 continuation, though. So if the candle closes green, this could be a possible breakout V3 continuation. The only thing that's kind of tripping me out here, though, is the big green candle. That's the thing that's kind of worrying me a little bit. Also, it is touching the news price right here. The news price isn't much of I wouldn't consider the news price a huge red flag. It's still a red flag, but this is probably the weakest out of all of them. So sessions obviously are going to be the biggest red flags, open price, and then news. It's also touching liquidity up there. Thanks, guys, for the heads up. I think this thing might be a little too tricky. I don't know if I could take this. Like, I need it for sure to be a green candle. I can't have it bouncing back and forth. No, I'm not going to take it. I'll just leave my window open here because we're going to be taking buys anyways. Trend is bullish. So there's no entry there, guys. No entry at all. We were waiting for it to close green. Didn't close green. Completely fine. If price continues to climb up higher, this could set up for a possible MPS, but it's gonna have to push up, pretty high. This candle here is just too huge. This is what I would be worried about if the candle's too huge, because this here is actually a CV entry. You guys can see how it's a double body. This candle is smaller. Now, if this plays out as a CV, it's likely to push down and fill this candle here. But I mean, if you took a CV here for 10, you would have gotten your 10 points. I wouldn't counter trend it, but if the candle here is, so this is one thing to look for. If you're looking for a quick little scalp and you want to take a CV entry, if the candle is huge and you see this candle is obviously a lot smaller, the CV entry is probably going to play through. but I wouldn't want to go against the trend because I don't, for me, if typically I trade with the trend, I don't trade against it. And also that candle is huge. Yeah, and Sadie said I'm happy sitting out. Same here. There's no need to FOMO into any trades here. That's usually what gets majority of traders in trouble, right? It's just FOMOing. A lot of FOMO leads to blown accounts. So it's really just sticking to the game plan, avoiding these red flags. Yeah, there just hasn't been anything up. Like I haven't seen any entries here that have come up so far. It's kind of just bouncing back and forth for the most part. So it's currently at the 1 hour resistance level, where it was at the 1 hour resistance level. It's coming back down. So you guys can see here from the clean chart, I wouldn't be surprised if, price just ends up creating a new range within this area. Like this looks like a fake out. And it looks like it's going back into this range from earlier. Like this is the real range. And you get fake outs on both sides, fake out to the top, fake out to the bottom. And then price just ends up right back here in the middle. So again, we will be waiting for any opportunity. There's no opportunity here yet, but we'll continue to wait. Foreign market. Typically, we're able to find pretty decent entries during even a sideways market like this. It's just today there's not really much going on because there's just no setups. There's also a lot of red flags in between. So for me personally, I would have liked that if price came down a little further, and then we took the entry down here, right? That would be ideal. But I mean, I'm fine with taking entries up here. I just we need to find that entry. All right, let's see. So there might be a setup over here for the momentum divergence, guys. If you guys can see down here, we had a bullish divergence. It shifted down to a bearish divergence. So if this swings back up to a bullish divergence, this could be a possible entry for the momentum divergence strategy that I've been kind of like testing out and looking at. So I wouldn't consider this here the entry yet. If this candle here closes green, this could be a possible entry for the momentum divergence that I've been introducing to you guys. So this here would possibly be the momentum scalp, or sorry, the momentum divergence. If anybody's looking to take it, I'm not going to take it. I'll just follow it. So I'm kind of curious to see how it plays through. Yeah, exactly, Sadie. Sadie took the early one by mistake. Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell because you can see right here, it's on this actual candle. It hasn't actually closed yet. So it's based off this candle here. And if you might have to zoom in a little bit to see. So you can see right there, it actually didn't close yet. See how the divergence there hasn't really closed above. Like this candle here could be the setup again, but you'd have to like zoom in to see it. Like again, if this candle closes green, this could be a possible momentum divergence. It attempted to, but didn't close green. This candle here closed red. Nice. Kenneth over here took the liquidity on the second touch. So we got that for a full TP. Nice work, guys. Some people wait for the second touch, some people wait for the third touch. I personally think the second and third touch is probably the better option, especially during a choppy market like this. Maddie said NPS. I don't think there's the NPS over here, Maddie. Was there? Oh, it was like right at that line. Yeah, it was too close for me. I wouldn't have taken it, but yeah, there's the NPS that came up right here, guys. There's a buy signal that came up right here. So price retraced up. retraced down and came up right here, retraced on this red candle. So the entry would have happened like right there at the 200. It was like way too close for me because it's like literally on the line. And it's right at momentum. Yeah, exactly. So here goes that entry I was just telling you guys about. So this is the momentum. Damn, I should have taken that entry. That entry that looked pretty good. The entry right here was the momentum divergence. So see right there how it crossed over? This is the one I was talking about, Sadie. This is the actual momentum divergence that came up. It's all good. I didn't plan on taking it anyway, so it's not like I missed anything. I just wanted to follow it to see how it played through because we're forward testing that strategy right now. It's not one that we're necessarily looking to take just yet. Okay, so price is pushing up to the next sessions over here, which is the London high and the New York high. So I mean, this is the only entry that I was typically looking for today because there's nothing else that's come up. Everything's been around red flags. This is the only one that's actually came up to where I needed to go. If price retraces down from this point, this could start setting up for a CB entry, so that could be good too. I'll be looking for price to retrace down, provide a low at some point, and then climb back up because the target price point is still going to be the sessions up here. So I'm okay with some retracement and then possible correction back up. So I mean, technically, if this wasn't the MPS entry, the MPS entry could possibly happen like right here at the 210 mark, or even right here at the 220 mark. It was just too close to momentum though. Previous one. Again, right there on the same level, the 20 mark. So I'll look for price to kind of come down a little bit. And we'll see if we can get a CV entry here. Consolidation variation. Because other than that, there's not really any other entries that are available right now. There's no MPS because the MPS came up already. There's no breakout V3 continuation because we don't have a sell signal. Unless we get a sell signal right here, then possibly. I'm gonna close this window, or I'll leave the window up right here. I'll just put it on the side. I'll click on anything. But okay, so we're looking for a low here to get established. We're looking for a low or looking for a sell signal, one or the other. 7:20 right now, I got about like 40 minutes till 7:40, which is usually my cutoff for trading. So I'm really hoping we get the entry sometime soon. If not, then I'm not going to force any trades today. I'm okay with no trades. It's been a pretty good week so far. All right, we have a pending sell signal right here. So if this sell signal here closes, we'll look for the possible swing back to the upside. We have a low right here too. So this could possibly start. I'd rather have a bigger red candle here for the CB if the CB does come up, and it's not looking like it. It's going to be too small. Yeah, it's too small of a candle. It's going to be hard to catch a CB right here because this candle is already small. All right, so we have another opportunity right here. Price is dropping back down. Let me see if there's any news that's been released. So no updated news here. Looking at retail sentiment, it's currently 60% short. So I preferably would be looking for a buy here. This indicates that 60% of retail traders are currently selling right now. So you typically want to do the opposite and buy if you're trading against the majority, which is typically what we do. We have news over here at 7:30, which is just gas stock change. Nothing huge. It's just typical news that happens on this day at 7:30. So we got this here. I was kind of hoping this candle would be a little bigger because the smaller it's not going to be very useful to us if it's too small, especially for a CB entry. Yeah, it's not going to work out. The candle's too small. All right, so got nothing else here. Price is currently in the 1 hour resistance level. So that explains the drop back down right here. Price is just bouncing off the 1 hour resistance. So price came up, hit the resistance level, coming right back down. This is now the current range between this area right here, the little area of consolidation. The one thing I don't like about the candle movement here is that they're super blocky. So you can see how they kind of move around a little bit, like they'll get really big and then they just block up or they block down. Okay, we have a sell signal here, which is perfect because if we have a correction back to the upside, it's going to work in our favor. I want the sell signal to close though, because we're not going to get a buy signal until that sell signal closes. All right, I mean, it's all good. It is what it is. So the sell signal never closed. This is not going to be a CV entry. The candle's too big. This candle was too small. I was really hoping it closed down here because if it closed that down here, then we could get that rejection and correction back up. But unfortunately, we didn't. So the market's not as smooth as it's been for the past couple of days. Yesterday was pretty good. I think there was like 12 or 15 entries that came up. Also, the day before that, there was some pretty good entries that came up. And then the day before that as well. So it started to pick up on Tuesday. So there's no CV entry here. There's now highs on both ends. Yeah, CJ said that sell signal not closing is annoying me. Yeah, because it showed up for like 3 candles, right? It showed up like 1, 2, 3, or 4, and it just never closed. Well, like we want that sell signal because that sell signal is going to confirm retracement. Like we're going to know that price is retracing, it's ready to swing back up. I'm even okay with an invalid sell signal. So if we get a green candle and it's a sell signal, I'm okay with that too. But it looks like price is going to be within this consolidation area right there, where I marked up earlier, right here down the middle. So yeah, typical area of consolidation within here. Yeah, we got the news over here at 7:30. Thanks, Nick. We got the gas stock change. Typically doesn't affect the market that much. I mean, it might affect the market for this month because of the stuff going on in the Middle East with Iran. That's like the only thing I can think of that will actually affect the gas stock change. Other than that, don't really have that set up. Ferland's asking, Sean, do you have to set up TradingView with Replicano? No. So your Replicano set up with your TradeObate account. If your TradeObate account executes on TradingView, it's going to be the same thing because it'll execute the account. Whatever your account does on whatever platform, that's how it makes the movement on there on Replicano. So you don't have to set it up on TradingView. You just have to take the trade on TradingView. All right, so we might have a momentum divergence entry coming up. I think this is one that I would possibly, not this one right here, but the next candle. So this is one that I would possibly be okay with taking because I think this is going to push back up. Not here because this candle hasn't confirmed yet, but it would be on the next one. So this candle would have to close green, and then the next one would have to close green as well. So this one right here, if this candle here closes green, this would be a buy entry for the momentum divergence. But you're right. Sorry, guys. My bad. Thanks, Madhu and Maddie. It's too close to news. I just realized I looked at the time here. It doesn't look like it's that close here, but it's actually pretty close. It's 5 minutes before and after news. So typically when I avoid trades around news time, I try to avoid when it's between 5 minutes before and after, because that's usually how price reacts to the news event. Like you can see here from the news at 7 o'clock, market didn't react to the news event until like way later, right? Like the news event happened at 7 o'clock, but it didn't start dropping until like 7:03. So that's typically why we try to avoid any entries 5 minutes before or after news. So thanks, Maddie and Madhu, for the heads up there. And it doesn't look like this candle's going to close green anyways. Oh, it was actually still a setup. So the setup was still there, even though the candle didn't close green. So the entry would have happened right here. I'll just follow. I'm not taking this trade, guys. I'm just going to follow it. I want to see how it moves. And it looks like it hit TP there. Fuck. It's all good. It was that news. So you can see over here where the momentum divergence shifted. So you guys see right there, it shifted on this red candle right here. So this was the first one, and then this one over here was the confirmation, and that's where you would have taken your trade there for 10 points, which is all good. I mean, it's too close to news, so it's not one that I would take. Like I said before, guys, I'm like very conservative when it comes to trading risky entries. And I'm only looking for trades that I think are absolutely going to hit. So this one over here, I thought it was going to hit, but it was too close to news, so not one that I would personally be comfortable taking. Yeah, it's all good. Maddie said all good. Next setup. So I mean, we'll see if we'll even get another setup because it's getting close to 740, which is cut off, which I'm okay with. Got you, Gian. Let me check that real quick. Go here. Figure out where. All right, Gian, I got you. All right, so we got some team profits here. We have just Madhu here, made $100 for the day. Nice work, Madhu. So Madhu over here made $100. I'm not sure which trade he took, but he took it earlier at 724. So I'm assuming it was like one of the earlier entries that happened over here. Other than that, we got news coming up right here, guys, in a few. So if I don't see anything happen here with news and the news seems pretty flat, then I'll still trade, regardless of the fact it's low impact news. So I'll look for some entries because my cutoff time is like 740 for actual entry. But this market today is just not really moving very much. I mean, it's okay. It's typical. We had a great week so far, so it just might be one of those days where there's like legitimately no entries available. All right, so we got news right here, guys, at 7 o'clock. I wasn't expecting much movement from the news. News is actually negative. So the gas stock change was it was like a little worse than expected, 4 billion. It was 24 billion last month. They're forecasting it to be 54. It was actually 50. So it's a little short. Just a little short. There's a possible high-low scalp here, but again, I wouldn't take it because it's too close to the sessions. The sessions is one that I for sure would avoid. I wouldn't mess with the sessions. Yeah, Drew said it's crazy we haven't gotten the momentum signal. It got close to the top of the last momentum signal. Yeah, exactly. It it's just one of those days. You guys have seen this before where we have a pending momentum that just pends for like the entire day and just never closes. Pretty much what we expected. All right, so I mean, price is really just sitting in the 1 hour resistance level right now. You guys can kind of see where the bounces happen. Price kind of bounces around this area. And now the new current range is just within the 1 hour resistance level. The problem with this here is that we're now in a bunch of red flags. So we have news price up here. We got news price down here. We got the sessions up here. So the only way we could really find an entry between now and 740, my cutoff time for entries is about 740 right here, is price would need to come down a little bit. So it need to come down a little bit and then come back up from here. We got 8 minutes, so I'm not really expecting much to happen from now until then. You guys can see how these candles are moving. This is typically why I don't trade later in the session because the candles just get flat. So yeah, like Nick said, probably no trades today, which is not a big deal. I mean, it's fine. I'd rather have no trades than have a loss for today. We've had a pretty good week so far. So if you guys have looked at, profits, we got some more profits here from Johnny. Johnny's currently up. I see Johnny over here in his work attire. Super neon right now. Johnny's currently up about 900 per account. He has 5 accounts here, so well over 4,000 for the day. Nice work, Johnny. So this is dedication. You can see over here, Johnny's a construction worker, and he brings his laptop to work, and he goes into his truck for a bit, does some work, does some trading, and then goes back to work. So this is like dedication right here. Soon enough, Johnny's going to be pretty consistent, and he's going to be able to, leave his job and just trade full time. It's just the consistency. I know Johnny has a problem with it's a problem I mentioned before, guys. It's like that cycle people go into. They get funded, they make a couple mistakes, over leverage, and then blow the accounts. It's a never ending game. You never really master it. You just get better at it. Like for example, today I could have fumbled into a lot of trades today, but I didn't because it doesn't mean that I'm like perfect. It's just that I'm better at controlling my emotions with trading. So yeah, no, definitely Johnny. Nice work there. So Johnny locked in about 4,000 for the day. We got Kenneth over here. He locked in about well over 2,000 for the day. Nice work, Kenneth. We got Natasha here. She locked in 412. Great work, Natasha. Pretty good profits for the day so far. If you guys have any more profits, feel free to send them in. Otherwise, I'll keep looking for entries here. We still got some time, so I'm not ready to log off just yet. I'm waiting for this here to come down a little bit. Hopefully we get that sell signal and then the correction back up. So yeah, I'd like this to drop down a little bit. Have this sell signal finally actually close. So this sell signal has actually been pending for the past, I think, 20 minutes now. We've had the sell signal pending since way up here. So if we measure this from here to here, the sell signal has been coming up for about 16 minutes now. It's a long time to have a pending sell signal. Yeah, exactly. Nick said perfect time to hop in the truck for construction. Gotta wait till 8 a.m. Most places start. Yeah, exactly. It's a little too loud, huh? All right, so we don't have anything here. There's a V1 variation pattern. There's a double body rejection here, but again, it's at the news price. And there's no buy signal that's pending. It's currently already active. All right, we got some consolidation right here. All right, we got some more profits here from Jeff. Nice work, Jeff. Jeff locked in 600 for the day per account. He has 2 accounts here, so well over 1,200 for the day. Great work, Jeff. Pretty solid profits there. And here are my profits for the week so far. So I haven't taken anything so far, but I'll wait. I'm not gonna. I'll just wait. We're not there yet. So once you get closer to like 740, I'll go to that, and I'll just take a screenshot of my accounts for the day. I'll just take it now so that you guys can see. You guys can see I have nothing for the day. I was really hoping I'd be able to try out this the execution here on TradingView, but it's not looking like it. Not for today, at least. All right, we might get an entry here, guys. So this here might close for a momentum divergence entry. So as long as it doesn't close like super crazy, I mean, this could be a possible momentum divergence. Like as long as it's not like a huge green candle. So let's see. I'll just set this up. I don't know if this will come up, but I'll just set this up just in case. Yeah, it's pushing up a little too high. So we got 20 seconds left on this candle here. I'll see how this here closes. If it closes and it's like right here down the middle, then I'll take it. If it's too high, then obviously not going to take it. Nah, it's for sure way too high at this point. Yep, fuck me. Yeah, no entry there. All right, so yeah, I don't think we're having any entries for the day. This here is right at the sessions. This would have been the entry if it was like down here, unfortunately, but it's too high. I mean, it would have been nice. Yeah, so Ken said he's cool. Yeah, and unfortunately, this would have been the entry we would have taken, but it happened right at the session, so not one that I'm going to FOMO into, of course. And Ken said he's calling it a day. He's done for the day. So this is the entry that I was looking for, guys. We had the setup right here again for the momentum divergence. You guys can see how powerful this strategy is. It works good in like all market conditions. So it could be trending, it could be consolidating, it could be doing whatever, but unfortunately it was at the session, so that doesn't meet my criteria, and I'm not going to take the trade. If it closed down here, I would have been fine because it would have blasted to my TP to these sessions, but since it didn't, unfortunately, there's no entry there. So here are my accounts for the day, guys. You guys can see I didn't take anything for the day, pretty much all zeros, but for the week so far, I'm currently I'll just copy this. I don't need to recalculate it. So zero for the day, and I'm currently up 60,808 for the week. So this is why I don't need to trade, right? I'm already up a lot for the week. There's no need to force anything. If you guys can just stick to your game plan and not force anything, I mean, you can do pretty great. You do pretty great things with trading, because the biggest problem for majority traders is not being able to walk away, right? Like it's 7:38 right now. It's about to be 7:40. I'm about to walk away because this is my cutoff for trading. The problem with a lot of people is they can't walk away. If they haven't taken a trade today, they feel that they need to take a trade, like they need to take a trade, like their life depends on it. And that one trade that they take is possibly going to lose and put them in a hole. So for the most part, guys, you don't need to trade today. You really don't need to trade today. You guys can see how the market's been moving today. It hasn't been smooth. So personally, I wouldn't risk it, especially when you don't need to. Yeah, exactly. Jonathan said no trades taken on my account, but more importantly, no losses. That's the key thing. If you guys can focus on the winning and not losing, that's going to be your holy grail. There's no holy grail strategy, but if you have a holy grail mindset to focus on the winning and not losing, it's inevitable. You're going to make profit at the end of the week. So we got some more team profits over here. We got some. Actually, we got Jacob. He put zero. So this is accountability right here. Jacob as well. He didn't take any mistakes. He didn't make any losses. He took no trades today, just like me. Zero P&L. So great work right there, Jacob. A non-losing day is considered a winning day to me, and I think that's the same with a lot of other people in the group. As long as you close out the day in either flat or positive, that's a win for me. You close the day in negative, then obviously that's a losing day. So I consider today winning day. And CJC, the market's playing around, bouncing off the pivots. Yeah, it's literally what's been happening all day today. And it's been sitting at the red flags. So yeah, exactly. And Sadie here had a question. Said, so BB3 losing streak ended, 2 wins in a row should put us back into going forward. Yeah, I could see that happening. So that's something to look out for. If you guys remember for the BB3, I kind of identified an edge for that strategy. If you can find, so here's the thing that I found with the BB3. It's been on a losing streak, right? Well, it's been on a winning streak and then it went into losing streak. So from March, let's see. Yeah, from March 1st up until like March 22nd or March 19th, we had a winning streak here. We had like, I think, a 19 winning streak, right? Straight wins. And then on the March 20th, we had 2 losses. So if you start to shift to opposite trades from March 20th up until today, you'd have all wins. So like basically for the most part, all wins. I think it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 wins. It's basically the same. It's like you had 12 buys over here or 12 entries for wins and then 12 losses here. But if you switch your entries to the opposite, you'd have 12 more wins. Today was a win. So if tomorrow is another win, then odds of it continuing further are very likely. So just keep an eye out for the BB3. If you guys are still looking to take it, like Sadie said, tomorrow we'll see if it's a win. Then if you want to start taking the BB3s again, you can just take a lower risk, and it's probably going to go back into a positive or a correct streak in the direction that it's supposed to go to. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for today. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to execute my trades on TradingView. I'll try again tomorrow. Hopefully, tomorrow will be one of those days where a solid entry will come up. and then I'll see how the copier works from there. So if there's any questions, guys, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, this is going to be it for the session today. I know typically we stay on a little bit later, but today the market's not really doing much. You can see over here from the clean chart, this is a clear representation of like why you shouldn't be trading right now, because you can see the market is not going anywhere. It looks like price is moving directional, but realistically, it's just faking out between this 1 hour resistance level right here. So it's just going to keep going back and forth. You can see how the fake out happened up here. Price probably come down a little bit, fake out down here. Probably come back up, do the same thing over and over again. So I think that's about it. So guys, if you guys have more profits to post up, which we had Delicia here, nice work, Delicia. So Delicia locked in a total profit of 2,155 per account. She has 5 accounts here, so we'd say 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, about 10,000 for the day, all wins. And I think that's about it. So, all right, guys, if you guys have more profits to post up, feel free to send them in. I'll post you guys on the social media post later today. Otherwise, if not, I'll see you guys back here tomorrow for the next live session. So, all right, guys, if you guys have questions, reach out. Otherwise, I will see you guys here tomorrow for the next session.